Like I-10 index, H index is also a metric for evaluating cumulative impact of an author's scholarly impact and performance, measures the quality and quantity by comparing publication to the citations. In this video, we will learn what is H index, how to calculate H index, and limitations of H index. H index and I-10 index both are very important when we are applying for some research project or we are applying for a job. So these two things are oftenly asked to fill up there. And one more thing, total number of citations. So what is H index? H index was proposed by J. Hitz in 2005 and it was published in Proceeding of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America. His idea was to use quantity and quality. Quantity refers to the number of papers and quality refers to the number of citations. So using these two, he proposed H index, which make a metric for the publication of a scientist or a scholar. So H index is basically used for different database. It is calculated by different database: Elsevier's Scopus, Clarivate Analytics Web of Science, and Google Scholar. Google Scholar also provide I-10 index that we have already discussed in the last video. So this H index provided by these all three different database may be different. This depends on the number of citations they are recognizing. So H index may be defined as the number of papers with a citation number greater than or equal to H. So as a useful index to, this is a useful index to characterize the scientific output of a researcher. So how to calculate H index? Here is an example. So suppose Dr. ABC has published a total 10 papers and I just made the list: paper number 1, paper number 2, 3, 4 up to 10, and in the next column I have written the number of citation in descending order. So this is I just wrote this in descending order to make the thing clear to understand you well. So one thing is clear, because H index, because of the definition of H index always will be less than or equals to total number of paper published. So how H index was defined? The number of paper with that many citations or more. So here in this example, Dr. ABC has 10 research papers and each of has different citation. So we see that 10th paper has 0 citation, 9th paper has 9 citation, and 8th paper has 5 citation, and 7th paper has 8 citation. So H index cannot be 0 because all 10 papers do not have 10 citation or more. It cannot be 8 because 9th paper also has only 1 citation. So it cannot be 8 also because this 8th paper has 5 citation. So now what about 7th paper? 7th paper has 8 citation and all other papers from 1 to 7 has citation more than 7. So H index for Dr. ABC will be 7 because each 7 of his papers among 10 papers has citation more than 7 or equals to 7. So here H index of Dr. ABC is 7. Suppose another example we take. Suppose I have 20 publications and 10 of my papers has got citation each 10 or more. So my H index will be 10. Suppose from my 20 papers, my 5 papers has got citation 5 or more. So my H index will be 5. So number of papers with that many number of citations or more will be defined or is defined as H index. Suppose someone has 10 paper and his 5 papers has citations more or equals to 5. So his H index will be 5. If his only 2 papers has got 2 or more citations, then his H index will be 2. So I will show some example on Google Scholar. Just to see, this is a profile of Professor Virendra. What we see here, H index is 34. It means 34 of his papers has got citation 34 times or more. And I-10 index for him is 80. It means 80 papers. Among all papers, 80 papers has got citations more than equals to or more than 10. So there are some limitations of this one. The different field of research can have different citation we have here. Just like we discussed, Google Scholar may give different H index, Scopus may give different H index, and Web of Science may give different number of different H index. So this varies from one platform to another platform. It depends on the number of citations they are considering. And then this is not a good thing to compare a new researcher with a seasoned researcher, because it takes much time for a new researcher to have some papers, and then after some time his paper get many citations, and then he has some H index or I-10 index. But in case of the professor who has 20 or 25 years of research experience, they may have many papers, and accordingly their H index, I-10 index may be very high. For example, my H index is 6 or 7 and I-10 index is 5, something like that. But we see that Professor Virendran's H index is 38 and I-10 index is 80. So there is a huge difference. So we cannot compare like this. H index value depends on the database you are using. That's what we have just discussed. It depends on the database. You are using Google Scholar, or we are using Scopus, or we are using Web of Science. So H index depends on where you get publications and citations data. This is Elzevier's Scopus and the Web of Science and Google Scholar. So H index just a number, and there are many ways to tell the story of a researcher. So there are many factors. His impact factor, where he is publishing. Suppose he is publishing in a very high impact factor journal, but it was published recently, so it may not have so many citations and H index and many things. But so thing is that H index is just a number. So we need to see many more parameter about research capability. So for better understanding, one may refer the following link. This is a Cornell library link. It is given here, so he can refer and he can dig it out there, some more information, various types of indexing, impact factor, and so many things available there. Thank you very much.